What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. I'm out here working. Great night of boxing. Shout out to Mayweather Promotions and Showtime getting it done. Now I'm back with the realest Gervonta Tank Davis, Jose Pedraza post-fight, where I'm going to go in depth and kind of go some round by round and give you my thoughts, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what I liked from both of the fighters in the co-main event. Now, I've already done the realest Jack versus James DeGale. That's on YouTube right now. Some people are saying it's a robbery. I thought it was a very close fight, but I had Jack winning for more reasons on that video and why, and the full breakdown, the realest breakdown. Check that video out. Now, a star was born tonight with Mayweather Promotions, and that was Gervonta Tank Davis. A lot of questions about the kid, and I'll be the first to admit, I keep it real. Like I said, the realest breakdown. I had my own questions about Gervonta Tank Davis. This was clearly a step up in challenge, first title shot, and from other performances, I think his very last fight, I forgot the dude's name, but I think it was a former champion or whatnot, but it was not the level of competition of Jose Pedraza, right? And I seen little deficiencies, little flaws in his fight game. Like, I was like, okay, he's getting hit some, right? So I don't, you know what I mean? Ultimately, until fighters step up, we don't know what their chin's like. We don't know, like Amir Imam, perfect example. Looked very great versus certain competition, but as soon as he stepped in there with a guy who he called a tune-up fight, right, and a guy who had veteran experience, didn't even win all those fights. He lost to Frankie Gomez, he lost to Leonardo Tyner, I think, or had a draw. He lost to a ton of people, and that was Adrian Granados, and he even knocked down Granados. Granados got back up and ended up stopping him in the late rounds. He wasn't ready for all of that pressure, you know what I mean? Antoine Douglas versus Aventel Curtitze, another example, rising prospect, and you put him in there with somebody who's older than him, strong, built tough, you know what I mean, like a tank and relentless, and you don't know how they're going to perform. And I said tank, no pun intended, but Curtitze ended up stopping Antoine Douglas, right? So this was a big test for Tank Davis. And let's go through some of my tweets, and I'll break down kind of what I've seen in this particular fight. I said Gervonta looked sharp as shit in round one. I thought he came out with some nice, crispy punches. And the thing why I say a star is born, aside from him now being a champion, he's with Mayweather Promotions, a young and growing imprint. Mayweather says he's not coming back unless it's Conor McGregor, and we all know Dana White is not trying to have that, because that's why he basically, in Floyd's world, he lowballed him. He offered him $25 million when Floyd's getting paychecks of $32 million guaranteed, plus pay-per-view back-end money, right, and whatever else, Hugh Blatt endorsements, and he's getting that for Robert Guerrero or Marcos Maidana. So why would he take $25 million guaranteed for Conor McGregor? So Mayweather looks like he's going to be retired for some time, because there's no money attractions other than like a Conor McGregor that he said on this Showtime telecast interest him. So it's all about the Mayweather fighters. Jack looked good, even though it was a draw. He keeps his belt. He doesn't lose any stock, because a lot of people believe, like me, that he won the fight, right? And it was all eyes on Tank Davis. I was really going to pay attention to the fight to see how he looks, because this is a guy taller than him, a guy with some pop, a guy who stopped Tevin Farmer, who's a very skilled fighter. And shout out to my dude Tevin. And we didn't know what Tank Davis would look like in this big of a step up this soon. He's what, 20, 21 years old, whatever he is. I seen him in Vegas. I was at Mayweather's daughter's 16th birthday or whatnot. And he's flashy, he's living the lifestyle, but clearly he hadn't had the name to corroborate the praise. They were saying he's the next Mayweather, he's this and that, and he was looking good. He stopped all of his opponents but one, I think 16-0 with 15 knockouts. So he looked like the truth, but ultimately, until we see these guys step up, we don't know. That's what he did. Round one, like I said, he looked sharp as shit. Very crispy combinations. And why I say a star is born is because he already has the imprint with Mayweather Promotions. That's gonna, anytime Floyd talks, it's a headline. It does. It's not even like up for debate. Floyd could talk about, I don't know, the new Dumbo movie with Will Smith, and people would probably write an article about that in boxing. So the point being is he already has that going for him, and he has an exciting style to watch, and now he's a champion, and he already has the clean cut, he has the backstory, you know what I mean, tough, rugged Baltimore upbringing or whatever. So he has all the makings to really build from this. And I thought round one he looked good, and he clearly won the fight, landed the harder shots, great body work, and sneaky uppercuts. He's a southpaw, and he got caught a little with some jabs from the taller fighter, right? And I mean, it was clearly a Tank round. I said this, I tweeted this, and this, you guys look at the times. I'm doing this as the rounds are going and giving my thoughts and stuff. Pedraza, too aggressive, needs to box. And this was the bad and the ugly for Pedraza. And this is taking nothing away from Tank Davis, but as a champion and a taller fighter, I don't understand why he was trying to fight like he was in terms of aggressive. I understand first round, maybe you were like, oh, I'm gonna bring it to this young kid. He ain't on my level. I'm Pedraza. I fought Edner Cherry. I fought Tevin Farmer. He's more accomplished. He's the champion. I get that. But beyond that, it didn't work because you lost round one. Maybe you should get back to boxing. That's just a pointer. That's just my thoughts, right? For example, I study this game. Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, he almost did the same thing. Canelo was 23. He had just come off the Austin Trout win. He had beat Shane Mosley, knocked out Baldomir, stuff like that. Floyd was obviously his biggest test, his step up. And Floyd probably didn't believe the hype. Like, you know what I mean? Who's this kid? You know what I mean? That was a 41-year-old Shane, who I beat already. He beat an old Baldomir, who I had already beat. And he beat Austin Trout. Whoopity-doo. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, in the Floyd-Canelo fight, Floyd came out super aggressive in those first 2 or 3 rounds because he probably wanted to. That's smart for a champion. You want to see what this kid is made of, see if he folds right away or whatever. But when Floyd started seeing that Canelo was countering and doing a little head movement and was strong and stuff like that, and he couldn't just go in there and bully him, he was a smaller person, then Floyd said, okay. And immediately after round 2.5 or 3, he went to boxing. And then he started to open up, and it led to great things, and he ended up dogging Canelo. But it was because he tested the water. This is smart for a champion, and this is what Pedraza didn't do. You test the water and see if this inexperienced kid or whatever, the person who doesn't have your experience, can handle it. And if they break right then, okay, cool, you end up dogging them right away. But as soon as Floyd seen that Canelo wasn't just there to lie down and wasn't just going to fold and was actually a pretty solid boxer puncher, he was like, okay, cool. And then he switched up a little bit. That shows the wisdom of Floyd Mayweather. Pedraza, not so much. He didn't do that. He went out there aggressive against Tank, the taller fighter, and wasn't boxing and wasn't jabbing. And credit to Tank, maybe the rumors about his power and stuff, Pedraza wanted to make a statement, but stupid. It's stupid to do that. He gave up so much height in this fight. Anyway, round 2 started off real good for Pedraza. He started boxing more, which is what I was saying he needed to do. He landed some good shots, landed more, obviously better than the first, but then last minute he stood in front of Tank and let him get off. So the thing I'm trying to explain to people, even in the main event, James DeGale versus Badou Jack, you make, when there's a fighter who's clearly flashier than you and it looks like they're punching pretty good, or at least even flashy with speed, like athleticism, bop, 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 then it's not good to look flat-footed and maybe potentially give up the round because of their athleticism and you're letting them get off. So even though Pedraza started off good, even if you gave round 2 to Pedraza, he let the end of the round get kind of like overshadowed by Tank Davis getting off some nasty combinations when he could have just popped out the jab, pop, 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 clearly had that round. Now you leave it up for interpretation. Dumb move against a guy who's flashier than you. It looks like his punches are powerful. I thought that was stupid from the champion. And that's what I was saying in this next tweet. Round 2 for Pedraza, but he can't let Davis steal rounds with as much flashier combos, with his much flashier combos and hard punching. It doesn't make sense. Stick to what you're. See, that's the thing. A lot of fighters do like rookie mistakes. Same thing with James DeGale and Badou Jack. To me, Jack won the fight. To me, James DeGale is the more skillful, especially to the eye test, fighter in terms of what he does and how he can make opponents look, moving all these angles and stuff like that. So using his skill set, he should have been able to turn and move and angles and stuff to Badou Jack, but he let the worker, who's much slower hand speed, kind of break him down, and you start fighting his fight, which is kind of what Pedraza was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's a machismo thing. He's from Puerto Rico. Legend has it that Pedraza has a really good chin and he'd never been knocked down or stopped as a pro. And I don't think he gets hurt in sparring, whatever I heard. And you don't want to have a slugfest with the wrong person, and he clearly did that. Like, that's stupid. But like I said, he can't let Tank Davis steal his shine. Like, if you win the round, just win it, especially early. Win it clearly, win it definitively, and don't give your opponent any opportunities, if that makes sense to you. Don't give him any opportunities to, like, damn, I was feeling Tank Davis's work at the last 30 seconds, and that's what kind of Pedraza was doing from the early first 2 rounds. Pedraza fighting dumb so far as a champion. Round 3, Tank getting off nasty combinations that look sharp and crisp. So this is like the beginning of the end. I don't know what it is, but you're the taller man and you're giving up your height and you're not fighting a good game plan. I thought that was very stupid, and for a guy with the veteran experience of Pedraza, it was a big mistake. But maybe it was on some machismo shit, like, oh, I'm a warm-blooded Puerto Rican and I can do this, and he's unproven, fuck the Mayweather promotion. I don't know, but clearly it wasn't what you needed to be doing. And I'd already noticed Pedraza's face showing the signs of wear and tear. Pedraza's game plan is suspect, and I'm impressed with Tank. And then I tagged him or whatever. His face you can start seeing the bruising and the purple marks underneath. Not a good sign, especially early, especially from the taller fighter. Keep your distance, control the distance, jab. Like Tank, like I said, I'm way taller than mostly all these fighters, but when I seen Tank, he's clearly not that tall, especially for the division. Like if he stood next to Lomachenko's probably taller than him, right? So the much taller, I don't remember from the Boxing Ego first look, Pedraza is clearly taller from the eye test. Pop out a stiff jab, you have respectable pop, and just double up, triple, bop, bop, bop. Use your legs, bop, bop. And, you know what I mean? Keep him at bay, especially early. Discourage his confidence. And that's not what Pedraza was doing. Round 3, Davis and Pedraza both did good work. Showed me some head movement, both of them. They were doing some head movement, but Pedraza's fighting the style that makes Tank shine. His shots look more thudding. It was apparent who was hitting harder and who looked more impressive. Like I said, why is the much taller man not working behind a consistent jab? Pedraza, jab, jab, jab. This is what I like from Tank. Being the young fighter, young 20s, Tank killing his body round 4, that's gonna hurt late. I mean, all the guys, you can have all the movement in the world, you better be in some phenomenal damn shape to let someone viciously, with known power, vicious. It doesn't even have to be vicious, but it just so happens that Tank is a vicious combination puncher. But even if they have moderate power, you can't let somebody tax your body like that. And Tank was beating up his body like it was a heavy bag in that round. And I thought that was a great investment from Tank. Slow him down, discourage him, and it pays dividends late. Again, Pedraza was swelling. He had a black eye by round 4. Tank's confidence is growing, and he was talking some shit, a little bit of showmanship. Tank was in there speaking. I don't know what he was saying, but he was saying something to Pedraza. Pedraza showed some showmanship in round 4, and he was taunting Tank, but I still gave Davis the round. I also think it's stupid to be showboating, and the continuation to that was when Pedraza does not have a firm grip on the fight, so that showboating is for the birds. Sleeping emoji. And somebody said, seems like a good game for Pedraza. Take the young guy deep, use his inexperience against him, then apply pressure. No, that wasn't. He applied pressure early and it wasn't working, and he was losing a lot of the enclosed phone booth exchanges. He was getting his body beat up, and he started showboating around round 4, and it made no sense because you're not clearly winning these rounds. You're clearly losing a lot of them. Probably, I think I gave him 1 round out of the first 4. And it's not like the round I gave Pedraza was a dominant round. So all that showboating shit is stupid to me. And I'm a fan of show. If like Floyd Mayweather sticking his tongue out at Berto's girlfriend, he's in control of things. Berto can't catch him. He's throwing combinations, missing crazy. Roy Jones start dancing like, I put my hands behind the back, I did the chicken dance. Don't do that, and then he gets a knockout right after. So I don't care if you showboat. If you're supposed, Prince Nassim Hamed, one of my favorites. He could showboat, but he was a lot of times getting away with it. But when he was showboating versus Marco Antonio Barrera, that was a different fight because Barrera was timing him and just like bow, bow. You're doing all that like shimmying and shuffling, and then you're getting tagged. That's not smart. And that's kind of what I seen with Pedraza. Broner did it too versus Maidana. Maidana's coming to kill you. Chino's not playing no games out there. He already knocked you down, and Broner's like dry humping him and stuff. Again, I love the flashy shit and the showmanship. It's exciting, but from like if I was in Pedraza's corner, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? As a fan, I mean, it's exciting, but it's not good for the fight. You need to get control of these rounds because Tank is not playing, and while Pedraza was doing all these doing all these noise, Tank's just trying to time him and trying to land shots and punching. So I'm not a fan of that. Like, you have to get the bull by the horns, be in control before you start doing a bunch of extra. I thought Pedraza was doing too much. Very good round 5 for Pedraza. He was started pushing the pace, showed heart. He started throwing a crazy volume of punches, and it looked like it befuddled Tank Davis a little bit. I do think he's doing a little too much with the showboating. Like I said, he's doing all these crazy like circus noises and stuff. That's burning unnecessary energy. And to me, that it's like boxing fighters aren't dumb. You know what I mean? They know body language. Like, I punch you in the fucking face and you're shaking your head like it didn't hurt, but I know I hit you clean and I heard you grunt. So all that extra shit you're doing, I know it took its toll on you. You know what I mean? Or you get hit to the body and someone's and then they're like, nope, and act like it didn't hurt. These fighters aren't stupid. So to me, again, it was a mistake for Pedraza to be doing all the showboating, like woo, 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 and doing all this extra shit and doing that because it didn't really, maybe in one round, I think the round I just said, maybe he got Tank befuddled, but I think it was more so the volume. It didn't have nothing to do with them extra ass noises Pedraza was making. It had more to do with that he was varying his attack, throwing different speeds, and just keeping his hands busy. You know what I mean? But to me, it's kind of burning unnecessary energy. You're not in control of the fight like that. So I just thought it wasn't a good game plan. Like, you at that point when he started doing that, you were still down in the fight, and Pedraza was still getting hit with some pretty good body shots and uppercuts and different stuff like that. And like I said, unnecessary risk for Pedraza. But I was saying maybe it'll pay off to discourage Tank. But I just think it's dumb to not be in control of the fight and start doing a bunch of extra stuff. That's just like you're trying to show face, like, oh, that didn't hurt, or I'm controlling you. Tank is from Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? He's from B-More. They got like surveillance cameras on like the light poles and shit because people be getting clapped out there. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be too worried about you. People do this type of stuff in sparring, talking shit, especially in the Mayweather gym. What the fuck you think? Have you ever seen a camera in the Mayweather gym on like an all access? That's all they do is talking shit. Like, I've seen Broner in the doghouse. That's what they do. So again, it's not a good game plan from Pedraza because that's not nothing new to Tank. He's from a rough neighborhood, and he's probably been around that in the doghouse and stuff, like the trying to taunt you and like, oh, you can't hit me. You know what I mean? That's whatever. Anyway, round 6, Tank Davis shines, badly hurt Pedraza, nasty body shot, and Pedraza was getting too overconfident. Pedraza even had to switch his stance. Not a good look. I think he was fighting southpaw against the southpaw, and the way he was protecting his body, he was clearly hurt. He was like hiding his rib or whatever because he didn't want to get hit with that again, and he even switched his stance. So like, you look at guys like Terrence Crawford, he switches his stance when he wants to. So far in his career, from what I've seen, he goes southpaw because he wants to. Maybe the Gamboa fight might be a little bit different. Maybe I think Gamboa might have forced him to switch, but a lot of times he's making the decision, okay, let me go orthodox, let me switch to southpaw. He's in a little bit more control. Pedraza switched because he was hurt and he had to protect that side. You know what I mean? And speaking of Gamboa, there's some Gamboa similarities to me in Tank Davis. I like the confidence and just the flashy shit, the combos. It reminds me of kind of when Gamboa was coming up. And I know the guys have sparred before, but that's just a little side note. And I told you all that extra showboating Pedraza was doing was unnecessary and risky. Again, You doing a bunch of extra, not in control of the fight, and you're getting punched, and he's punching you. He's not worried about that extra stupid shit. Like, what the fuck is that doing? You're making all these like weird noises that they can hear ringside. Davis is young, needs to go to the body, which hurt. See, I'm doing this in between rounds. Basically, what I'm saying is Davis is young. He needs to reinvest into the body because that's what hurt Pedraza to begin with. So don't headhunt. Keep going to that body. Destroy his body. Especially that'll calm that volume and all that stuff down. Then I said, told you. And then he got a knockout. The knockout was crazy too. He looked good out there, man. Tank gets another knockout. Excellent performance. Wow, he knocked Pedraza down. I don't even remember the combination, but it's on my Instagram. So make sure you guys follow me at Boxing Ego. And it was a nasty knockdown. It was like a succession of punches. Pedraza had never been stopped before either, right? And it was just a clear succession of punches. And he was taking way too much abuse and headshots. And I'm telling you, all that extra dancing and stuff, you're burning energy and you're not really doing that. You did good for maybe one round and throwing off the rhythm of Tank Davis, but he caught on pretty well. The good for Tank that I was really impressed with is I never seen him like at this level, so I didn't think he would be necessarily that cool, calm, and collected. Walking out, he looked pretty calm in the ring. He looked, I want to say he had like a little bit of jitters, but he tried to hold it together. See, look how calm he is, and look. Oh man, and he was landing some nasty headshots when he had his man hurt. But this is what I liked about Tank Davis. He was just cool, calm, very composed. He actually fought like he was the champion. And speaking of like who he fought like, Jose Pedraza is nicknamed the Sniper, but it was Tank Davis that was landing the sniper shots. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a phenomenal performance. He really stood out to me because he looked real calm, and he's like using some head movement, had his hands low at times, picking off his shots. The thing that I like too about Tank is he never got too reckless in there, right? He could tell his man was hurt, but sometimes people like Pacquiao. He's like one of the most famous recent examples. Pacquiao hurt Marquez. Marquez looked like his nose was broken. He's bleeding and all this stuff. And he got way too reckless. And for an opponent he had fought 3 times, he should have known that Marquez is a good counterpuncher, right? Tank never did that. He respected the fact that he was in there with the champion from what I seen. And he took his time. And that's something you can't really teach because, especially with a young fighter, you know what I mean? Some people aren't going to take their time and like pick shots and things like that. They're going to just like rush in and try to disrespect the champion. And that's not a smart thing to do. He was taking his time, picking his shots and waiting. Some people, especially young fighters, I'm telling you, they'll rush in and then end up getting knocked down because they got like even though he's experienced, but Danny Jacobs versus Sergio Mora. Mora doesn't even have that much power, but Danny Jacobs got kind of sloppy with it after he hurt Mora, and he got reckless and got caught off balance, maybe even slightly buzzed because Mora connected him. You can't just go in there and disrespect. And another thing young fighters do, sometimes they punch themselves out, right? They punch themselves out and they throw too many unnecessary punches missing when they have their person hurt, and all that stuff is not good, right? Sergio Mora said, "This is my type of fight." I mean, Tank shined. He fought his ass off, and he looked good in there. He looked, like I said, he looked like the sniper. He was landing these types of shots, just eating punches like cupcakes. He had obviously the better game plan because he won. He looked cool, relaxed, calm, and this was a huge step up for him. A lot of people sleep on Pedraza. Like, who is Pedraza? Even under pressure, when Pedraza was putting a lot of punches together, he was throwing a lot, but nothing looked as like stern and whatnot as the punches that Tank Davis was landing. He was landing some bombs. As someone said in my comment section, he was throwing missiles. So I was really, really impressed with Tank. because I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not even trying to throw shade. I thought this would be a competitive ass fight for him. I didn't think he would go in there and just like look like that sharp. I thought he was in other fights with lesser people. I thought he was getting hit and had some flaws. I thought he was, you know what I mean? I thought it was a chance he could win, but I was like, man, the height disparity, champion, good pop, and he went out there and did his thing. So I really have no complaints with Tank Davis. He lived up to the monikers, and he says, I'm ready to meet the expectations that are placed on me. He showed up, and now he's a 130-pound champion at age 21. He was born in 98. God damn. Born in 98 and already a champion. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even born when Tupac was killed. He's youngest in charge, and now he's a champion. So this excites me for the new generation. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of talented up-and-coming fighters. I told you guys that Shakur Stevenson work is no joke. Shakur Stevenson is that dude, and that's one of the people that helped prepare him. Someone told me that Tank Davis was weight drained. I mean, see, this you guys got to really research your boxing. And the person that said that was actually a boxer. I don't know if it's amateur or pro or whatever. But even if you are weight drained, the motherfucker is 20, 21. You can do more and drain yourself, and your body's going to be more pliable and flexible with like doing stuff like that than the older you get. He's still young enough, even if he was drained a little bit, maybe had to kill himself a little bit. Same thing with Canelo. People are like, oh, Mayweather fought Canelo at a cat. Canelo was 23. If that was weight draining him that bad, he shouldn't be fighting at 154, and he continued to fight at 54. So it wasn't the weight that lost the fight for Canelo. Skills pay the bills. It was the skills. Mayweather's just too smart. And again, the only difference, weight can be more of a factor when you're getting drained and you're late in your career, or you've been beat up and you've been through wars and you got a lot of mileage on you. That's when being drained is going to have a more significant effect. I mean, even me, like when I was 21, we would go out to the club 4 or 5 days a week. We would drink, meet honeys, and all types of stuff. Like, you could do that. You could party more and then get up and go to work the next day. The older you get, most people aren't built to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? So making weight is another thing. I didn't really particularly think he looked super drained or anything anyway, but I heard a couple people say stuff like that, like, oh, Tank's drained, but he definitely didn't look drained when he was throwing them hammers that you see right here. So like his hat says, strap season. Phenomenal performance by Tank Davis. There's a lot of good fights. Tevin Farmer, shout out to my dude Tevin Farmer. That's a fight I would like to see. You also got, I think, Francisco Vargas and Salido and the Japanese dude. That would be a war. Takashi Miura, he's fighting this month if he wins his next fight. Vasyl Lomachenko, I think he should build up to that. Lomachenko's a dog too. Lomachenko is very amateur heavy. A lot of experience. I think Tank Davis build off of this. You just had the tough fight and you're very young. So like, I think he should build off it. Keep getting fans. Keep getting, look at another great fighter who just became a champion last year. They can't deny a star. Gervonta, go get that strap. Let me retweet that. Real shit. Real recognized real. Easter, another very skilled, dope fighter. Just got a IBF belt also. But his was last year, Savage Mode. I mean, Tank told you. He said, I want my title shot. 130 pounds, watch out. He got the right dance partners to prepare him, like the Shakur Stevenson and, what's the name? Richard Hinchinson? I forgot his name, but he prepared the proper way, and it showed. Pedraza, he can come back, but I thought his game planning, he didn't just right. He was trying to taunt and showboat when he wasn't in control of the fight. Those aren't good things. Shout out to Royce of 5'9". He be on his boxing shit too. Lil Tank a dog. He about to get that title. See? People try to tell you. Just a different level of hunger. Like, and Pedraza, it's just real disappointing for Pedraza because he was a champion. He had beat guys like Edner Cherry. I thought that was a controversial fight. I think I might have gave it to Cherry. I watched that on Showtime, but either way, he's a long-standing veteran champion, and his game plan just didn't really make sense. You're the taller fighter. It's like you wanted to fight the young man's fight, and you're the veteran. Stupid. you could have been out there and tried to beat. Oh, I'm not saying he didn't try, but if you would have beat Tank Davis, the guy who's being billed as the next Mayweather, then you're the man. You beat Tevin Farmer and you beat the quote unquote next Mayweather. You would have been buzzing and you would still be a champion. But now you became another statistic and another casualty and another knockout on his resume. Now he has all knockouts but one, just like Deontay Wilder. And he's a champion. He has your belt. So look at this. 5'8.5" to 5'6". Could have used that height better. Reach advantage. Could have used that better. That's what I'm saying. Look at his knockout percentage going into the fight. Almost 94%. And you're going to fight in close quarters, tough fight, and try to taunt him early. See, that's what I'm saying, man. People forget Floyd Mayweather is smart. He knows what to do and who to do it with. Point blank, period, pause. That's just what it is. Like he doesn't go out there and typically fight the completely wrong style of fight. And if he is, he'll make adjustments and stuff like that, right? Like he fills you out, gets his data about whatever the situation is. Or like, okay, Robert Guerrero, let me see what he's working with. He's a southpaw. First 3 rounds, collecting data, bow, stay safe, jab, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, oh, that's it. I could deal with his speed. I see the sequence of combinations he's throwing. Easy work. And then he starts to pull away 4th, 5th, 6th, especially during Money May era. Pretty Boy was just a different animal. He was more like, he had brittle hands, but he was more offensive and stuff like that. But as he got older, he got wiser and adapted and evolved his style. Pedraza and these other guys need to learn from that. Guy who's shorter than you with a 94% knockout that's being billed as the next Mayweather, maybe you should fill him out for a couple rounds and just box, because Pedraza can box. Edner Cherry's a good puncher too. I don't know Cherry's exact knockout percentage, but he's a good puncher, right? So just box. Keep it simple. That's what's the acronym? KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, right? But a lot of people want to be machismo and go away from the game plan. That's just for the birds, and you end up with losses. Let me know what you guys think. I was very impressed with Tank Davis. Overall, a great performance, and now he's a champion. So he's probably going to rest with his family and then get back to work, and hopefully we get a good title defense. Let me know what you guys think. Shout out to Baltimore. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.